Hello, it's Chris here again at ePianos, and we're continuing our fun with recording on this type of keyboard. Now, before I get going, can you do us a favour please and press the thumbs up below this video? It really helps an independent store like ours get seen here on YouTube. Now, I've switched to the Yamaha Genos for this keyboard. I was using the SX920 before, but the operating system is common. So what I've done is I transferred the song that we're working on, and everything is going to work in just the same. If you've got a Genos 1, 2, SX700, 720, 900 and 920, this is still going to work for you. So what I did was we're writing this song called Noodle 99, and we're using the Multitrack Recorder to do it. And we've put down multiple layers, as you've seen in the previous video. But there's, first of all, something I want to correct from a previous video, and that's how you actually save the song as well after you've made changes like revoicing or panning, or indeed changing the volume in the mixer. If you've loaded up the song, as I'm going to do here, Noodle 99, and you've gone to the mixer, you know that you can make changes just here to things like the volume and the panning, as I did in the first video. But what I was telling you to do then was simply to go to the song section and press save, press file and then save. Now that would not actually save those changes that you've done. It would save the recording of the song, but not the actual bass song with the MIDI instructions in it. To do that, this is the process, and pay attention people, because it's not quite as simple as saving a song in the traditional way. Firstly, to make changes, and the changes I'm talking about are things like the volumes here, because if I was to make a change here to, say, the volume of the bass, I'm going to move the volume up to, let's say, 80, okay? Just keep 80 in your head for this. Now, what you'd think you'd do to save that would be to exit out, go to Song, press File, Save, and then Save here, and then OK to override it. But what happens is when you go back to the saved song and into the mixer, it hasn't saved at 80. In fact, it's reset itself to its previous setting. And the reason for that is because you actually have to go into the bass song, the song, not the recorded song, but the song that's based on, the MIDI file that it's based on, to make changes there. This is how you do it. You go firstly into the Multitrack Recorder, and then you load up the song by pressing here on the screen, go to Noodle 99, exit out, and it is from within here that we need to go to the mixer. And the way that we do that is at the top right of the screen where it says Menu, we press that, and the mixer will appear here. Now, if I go into the mixer here and I make changes, let's actually move it up to 80 this time, then close it using this X at the top. Now, what you have to do now is press this button here called Setup. It's got a little musical note with a cog on it. And in here, it brings up all the things that it'll save when you press the execute button here. And by default, these ones are ticked, and that covers just about everything you'll need for now anyway, the voice, the volume, the panning, the EQ, etc. And press execute. It just takes a second to do, and you close it down. Then you need to press save at the top, and it goes back to this page where you can press save here, OK, override. Okay, now what happens if I'm going to load up a different song just to reset it, then load up Noodle 99, exit, go to the mixer. Now we can see it's actually changed, and any changes I would have made to the panning or the revoicing would then be saved as well. So it's important that you know that if you want to make changes within the mixer and you actually want them to save onto the bass MIDI file, that's the way to do it. So talking of revoicing, what exactly is that and how do we do it? Well, I'll give you an example, okay? I've got the song loaded here, and we can see the instruments we've got loaded here. And if you watch previous videos where I wrote the song from scratch, you know we've got piano, bass, and then we've got some synthesizers going on, some of them doing arpeggiating stuff, and some of them are panned from side to side. Now, let's say that I didn't want to have this piano. I'm just going to isolate it by holding down number 1 and then play it so we can have a quick listen. and if I press the purple button again, it brings back in all of the other tracks as well. Okay, now let's say that I wanted to change that piano sound to try and give the whole song a bit of a different feel. This is how I can do it. I've gone into the mixer, and this is how I would suggest you just do your first experimentations with it. Go up to track number 1, and just remembering we're on song 1 to 8 here, and press the picture of a piano. You can then go in here and change it, and for demonstration's sake I'm going to change it to something quite significantly different, like an upright piano, and have a listen to how that sounds. Okay, so it's quite different, quite a much thinner sound. Let's drop in the rest of the instruments to hear what it sounds like within the mix. Okay, and what that track is actually doing is it's still playing exactly the same notes as I played originally. It's just having the instrument that's playing changed to something else. And we're not actually limited to pianos either. If I wanted to, I could go in here, I could change it to an electric piano for an altogether different sound. Let's try Suitcase Tremolo. And again, I'm going to isolate it by holding it down just so we can preview it. So that works quite well, doesn't it? That's electronic piano, and it's just adding a slightly softer, smoother sound to it. But I found as well that sometimes you can be quite dramatic with the change, quite drastic. And one of the things I quite liked was changing it to a completely different instrument. And in this case, I'm going to go for concert guitar, because this is a voice on this type of keyboard that's really well articulated in its sound, very realistic, and it's going to sound like this. It's like having Julian Bream sat next to you playing. It's ultra realistic. Listen. And the beauty of these keyboards is that that sounds like a guitarist, but of course I'm playing keyboard notes, but the artificial intelligence in these machines tells it that, hey, you're not supposed to be sounding like a piano anymore, you're supposed to sound like a guitar. So all those little nuances, or string buzzes and fret slides that a guitarist would put in, that's what we're hearing. And it's quite phenomenal. I mean, it really is clever technology, and it means I can totally change the character of this song. Let's drop that into the mix. I'm going to turn the volume up a bit too. So I think that works really nicely, and this is all part of the fun of playing around with revoicing on these sorts of keyboards. So the next question that comes to mind is, well, how do I save that? I've made a revoicing, and how do I save that into my bass MIDI recording? That is where we have to go back into the multi-track recording. But bear in mind that it's not actually going to save the changes I've made in Mixer there yet. What I need to do is go into Recording, Multi-Recording, load up the song, but it's going to load up the version that still has the piano in there, okay? But now I'm going to go and tell it that I want to revoice that, and then I want to save it. So what I need to do is go to Menu at the top right, then Mixer, then go in and choose the instrument I chose, which was the concert guitar, sorry. And I also turned the volume up to get it through the mix a little bit. So I turned it up to about 119. close it down, go to Setup, and it's saving all of these parameters that I wanted it to save. Press Execute. Okay, close that down, then press Save here. Noodle 99, save here, override it. Okay, and there we are. Now that has now saved our song, Noodle 99. I'm wishing I'd come up with a better name for it now. And it's got the guitar in there. And I should say at this point that Noodle 99, by the way, is a work in progress. And we can revoice things, we can pan them, we can do new patterns over the top. Incident, if you want a copy of it, just to play with on your own machine, then just email us and I'll happily send it through to you for free. I'll be quite interested to hear what people can do with it at home. It's only 30 seconds long, but it's a good little tool for experimenting with. Okay, so now I want to answer a question that we got on a previous video in this series, which is here. And the viewer is asking, how do you, if you're using more than one layer with your voices, how do you record those onto the multi-track recorder? And it's an important question to ask. And to demonstrate this and how you actually do it, I want to go into the multi-track recording, but I'm going to record a new song. So at the top, I go to New, and let us say that what I'm going to record is myself playing a piano with voice right number 1, and I'm going to put over the top a little bit of orchestral strings. I'll just choose Keno strings slow. So what I'm going to record is me playing something like this. So we have two voices active at the minute, right 1 and right 2. You can pianos and strings going. So we go to recording, and then we go into multi-track recording. And you will have noticed, and the questioner did notice, that when I was choosing which track I want to record, you press the middle and it asks you, what channel do you want to record? And with channel 1, I want to record my voice from right 1. But I can record 2 tracks and more actually simultaneously. But I have to instruct the keyboard what I want to record from, what channel I want to record from. And in this case, or rather what voice I want to record from, I'm going to go right 2. So we can see we've got right 1 and right 2 ready to record at this point. And I can just play. And I push stop, and that saved both channels in one go. Okay, so that's how you do it. You have to instruct it which voice channel, and you can, as you can see in the interface, you can have it record the left voice, the multipad, the style, the rhythm, the chords, everything that you put into it. And this is of course because the multi-track recorder is also set up to record you using all of the performance tools on this type of keyboard. The style accompaniments, the multipads, the one-touch settings, the microphone input, all sorts you can record into there, but you have to instruct it which channel to do it on. So as you can see, the multi-track recording on this keyboard goes into some depth. And just before we finish up this video, I had another question. And thank you for all the questions, by the way, and do leave them in the comment section because we're reading them and we're figuring out what we've got to show you in the next video. How to correct little mistakes that you make. And to demonstrate this, I want to go into the multi-track recorder and I'm going to record another new song that's just me playing the piano. So I've got my piano loaded and I'm going to go to new song up here, and I'm going to play a deliberate bum note. You'll hear it and it'll make you go, ugh! But the beauty of the step edit on this keyboard is you can actually go back, find your bum note and correct it. This is what I mean. Going to record from right number 1 and I'm going to play this. Okay, musicians out there, did you hear the bum note? Okay, so here it is. This is what it sounds like. How do we correct it? Using Step Edit. On the screen here we have Step Edit, and we open this up, and this is one migraine-inducing page, but what it's showing you is every single note that played in that sequence. And I can press play just here on the screen and it'll play through them. And we should be able to see clearly which note was the bum note. There she goes. Push these arrows, it actually plays notes one by one. There it is. Sounds pretty horrible. It's an A flat number 3 that I'm playing, which was that one I think, but I want to correct it to an A. So I can select it here on the screen and then turn the data entry wheel. It'll go through the scale of the piano, get it to where you want it, and then let's go back to the beginning. Now let's hear it. So that sounds much more like it. You can then save at the top. So little mistakes like that you can correct after you've played it. So if you've done a 5-minute long performance and played a bum note after 4 minutes and 55 seconds, you don't have to do the whole thing again. You can go back in and use the Step Edit. Right, that's all for part number 3, but part number 4 is coming up soon. And we're going to cover effects on your recording. We're going to cover bouncing down your tracks as well, so you can keep adding more layers than the theoretical 16 in there. And then we're going to talk about how we can actually convert that song into audio as well. So if this video has been useful, please give us a thumbs up below. It really helps independent store like us get seen here on YouTube. Thanks for watching. Hope that was useful, and I'll see you in the next one.